Hey guys, welcome back to another video for Alex's Flying Club, and I am again in the Flight Simulator Microsoft 2004, Flight Simulator 2004, and I'm flying in a new aircraft for me as far as the videos on this channel go. This is the Beechcraft 1900D, and this is my first official flight with the virtual United Airlines. This is one of the aircraft at the first officer level, which is the entry level status, I guess, when you join this virtual airline. I didn't have any transfer hours, so I'm starting from the bottom and working and learning my way through the ranks. Yeah, so this is an aircraft by Premier Aircraft Designs, PAD, which used to be kind of a organization that created these freeware aircraft for Flight Simulator 2004. I don't think they're making any new ones now, but the old ones are available, and this is one of those aircraft. The freeware aircraft on the virtual United Airlines site, for the first officer rank, they were okay. A lot of them kind of reused panels from default simulator aircraft, and perhaps I didn't install some of them correctly, but this definitely seemed like the one that was the best, modeled the best. So it is a turboprop aircraft, a small passenger liner. It's in Continental Airlines skin, if you will, which of course is affiliated and owned by the parent company of United Airlines, I believe. So I'm gonna do a takeoff from this was in this is from Cleveland, flying to a small airport in Pennsylvania, I believe. I did do this flight about a week ago. I've since done a couple other flights with virtual United Airlines, all in the same aircraft, and I've actually today flown on VATSIM for the first time, which is pretty exciting for me. I was talking to real people for air traffic control. So yeah, that went pretty well, and pretty soon I'll post a video, maybe in a week or two. I'll post a video of a VATSIM flight that I do. I didn't want to record the very first one because I was kind of hyper-focused on how I communicated with the controllers and didn't want to make any mistakes, etc. But it didn't go as bad as I thought it would, and it was really fun. But let's get back to this flight. I've taken off in this aircraft. It's a really fun aircraft to fly, and I'm going to put it on autopilot pretty soon and talk about some of the controls and dials and everything like that. I'll also put a link to Premier Aircraft Design, where you can pick up this aircraft as freeware for Flight Simulator 9. So here are the autopilot controls that I'm initializing. So here's the flight path right there. We are taking out from Cleveland. That is my initial hub in the virtual airline. So I thought I'd get used to flying from that airport, to and from that airport. You can see Cleveland up ahead. Okay, so I'm going to go over some of the controls and dials here. This is the airspeed indicator. This is the attitude indicator. The altitude altimeter. That's the outside air temperature. This is the autopilot control, which we have currently engaged. This is the NDF indicator. That is kind of a navigation control for GPS and VORs. This is the climb rate indicator. You can also adjust autopilot vertical speed in that previous dial. Okay, here we have various controls for battery and auto feather and things like that. This is the various kind of warning signals, I believe, for terrain, when you're getting close to terrain, etc. Have to figure out how that works. There was the first dial, two dials on top were internal temperature, then torque, propeller RPM is the one I'm hovering over now. That is gas generator RPM, I guess. And the fuel flow indicators right there. Oil pressure, oil temperature. We have controls to switch between GPS and nav mode. These I'm not sure if those knobs are modeled. I don't believe they are, but the big dials indicate fuel amount. Avionics, panel lights, starter switches for starting the engine. Unfortunately, the throttle, mixture, and RPM controls are not clickable in the virtual cockpit. I'm really happy that PAD made a virtual cockpit, which is great. A lot of freeware aircraft don't have that, but those controls aren't modeled. So we have the radio and communication radios that I just hovered over. This is the GPS, kind of a primitive looking version of one. DME. This is the autopilot altitude setting. Can also be controlled over there. Same with the vertical speed, as I mentioned before. Those are warning lights. And of course, a lot of those instruments get repeated for the co-pilot. And here are the landing lights, navigation lights, de-ice, etc. Master panel lights. Smoking lights and seatbelt lights are not modeled, so it seems. These are some electrical controls, which I'm not really sure what they do. Haven't really played around with those that much, but you can change those settings. Even though in the virtual cockpit, that's one of the things I don't like about the aircraft. You can't really see what the labels on that instrument are in the virtual cockpit. And this is just for display, what I'm hovering over, though none of those switches are actually clickable. And that's the cockpit of the Beechcraft 1900 by Premier Aircraft Designs. So my plan kind of in the virtual airline community is I want to get better at VATSIM, and I also want to learn how to use a FMC, flight management computer. And I've downloaded a a freeware version of one with a freeware Airbus aircraft, and that's kind of my next step. And being able to fly with that on VATSIM with the FMC and fly some of the jets on VATSIM would be my next step, because the flights that I've been doing on VATSIM are VFR so far. But yeah, I'm gonna, for the Virtual United Airlines, I'm gonna fly this aircraft for several more flights, and then I'm probably gonna get a payware small jet at the first officer level, and I'll get to use the FMC there and really have a nice payware aircraft experience. I'm thinking I'll probably get the small regional jets packaged by Feel There. The company's called Feel There. The ERJ, is it called? 145. Anyways, a lot of these planes are new to me because I've only been getting into civil aviation quite recently. But it's been really fun, and really enjoy learning all this stuff. So here I'm coming up on final approach to the airport, and using the ILS just like with any other aircraft in this simulator. Switched it onto approach autopilot mode, and landing in this aircraft is really fun. The way I interpret the checklists are that you drop the last sets of flaps, or the last settings on the flaps, right before you land, and you cut your throttle right before you land, so it really glides down nicely. I find it's really smooth on landings, and I've been getting pretty good FPS ratings on my landings. Well, one time I got, I think, negative 103, and one time negative 71 feet per second. So those are pretty low descent rates for touching down on the runway. And I think this aircraft makes it easy to, or easier to achieve them. Now there is something funny with the panel. It was a different color previously. I don't know why and how it switched to gray from beige, but I think it's a bug, and they have two variations of this aircraft, panel 1 and panel 2. So I've been using panel 1, and in the README file it said if you have this problem, try panel 2. So that's I'll also try that to see if it resolves this particular bug, or what I think is a bug. There may be some kind of rhyme or reason to why the panel color changes when you mess with the light switches. Here I was trying to figure out whether the landing gear are actually down or not, because the indicator doesn't make it very clear. But I didn't realize the green lights to the right did mean that the gear is down, and they don't light up when you've raised the gear. This aircraft climbs and descends like a big jet, like a 737 in terms of rate. So it's pretty nice to fly. Very quick to respond in all respects. Good training for the larger jets as well. On VATSIM, I've been mostly flying the small Cessna 172 to simplify the kind of the problem of controls, because I was more focused on the air traffic communication aspect. So here I was kind of confused because of the wires right before the runway. I can't believe that they have those electrical poles right before the runway. So in real life I might have actually hit an electrical line, but the ILS lights indicated that I wasn't too low. So I don't know. Seemed to have gone okay in the simulator at least. And there we go. There's my first flight for Virtual United Airlines. For the rest of the video, I'm going to taxi and park in a kind of a random location. I wasn't really sure where parking was, but I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be posting more. I'll post one more video for the DC3 World Rally, and that's probably the last one I'll post in terms of actually in January, because school has started and I unfortunately can't finish the other 5 flights quite as fast as I've been doing the first 5 flights. So yeah, eventually I want to finish the entirety of that rally, but for now I'm going to focus well on my schoolwork and also on VATSIM and learning some of these turboprops and jets for virtual United Airlines. So thank you again for watching. I'm going to do a quick shutdown sequence, part of it at least, for this airplane, and I'll see you guys for my next video. Thanks for watching.